So in the last video, we were looking at how to prepare the debtors collection schedule. So we left the last lesson on how to draw out the branch, the stem and branch. Yes, how to draw out the stem and branch. Now, after determining which month is your stem and which months are your branches, you're then going to look for which months are we preparing the collection for. Okay, so you're gonna go to your answer sheet and look right at the top which months are written at the top. So we're preparing for September, October, and also November. All right, now going over to your stem and branch. Now you'll see that on your stem and branch we have July, August, and September, but it appears to us that we are not preparing for July, so we're just going to cancel that one out. We are also not preparing for August, so we're just going to cancel that one out. So we're only left with September, right? But luckily on our answer sheet, they've already calculated the amount for September for us. All right, so from here what we do is we move on to the next stem and branch, which will be for the month August. All right, so now I'm sure by now we actually realize that the stem is the month of sale and the branches are our collection months. All right, so let's draw the stem and branch for August. Alright guys, now after drawing our branch and stem, after drawing our stem and branch, what we're gonna do now, we're gonna compare our branches to our collection months. Okay, so in our collection months, we're collecting for the month of September, October, and also November. Now in our branches, we have August, September, and October. So now everyone can see that we're not collecting for the month of August, so we're just going to cancel it out just like that. And then now we're going to calculate for September and October. But now, luckily for us, the examiner already calculated our amount for the month of September as 76,200 rands. Alright, so that means that we're also going to cancel out the month of September as it has already been calculated for us, leaving us with only the month of October. Alright, so now that means that we're going to calculate for the 7% of the credit sales of August. So now the credit sales of August, they are 152,400 rands. So we're just going to multiply those by what? By 7% to get the collection for the month of October. All right, so what we're collecting in October will be 10,668 rands, just like that. Okay, so now after getting this amount, immediately after getting this amount, you're gonna come to your debtors collection schedule and input that here as 10,668 rands on the month of October. Remember what I said, the stem is the month of sale and the branches are the collection months. All right, so now that we are done with October, we are just going to cancel it out like that. Now after having cancelling out every month, every branch there is, now we're going to move on to do the next branch, which will be on the month of September. Yeah, so now if you want to try to do the branch and the calculations, feel free to pause the video and do so yourself. Now, this is what the stem and branch for September would look like. Remember, the month of sale would be September, and sorry, the collection months would be September, October, and November. Okay, so now, like I said, after drawing this, the first thing you do, you're going to compare your branches with your collection months on the answer sheet. Okay, so now on the answer sheet, we have September, October, November, and on our branches, we also have September, October, and November, meaning that we're going to have to calculate 3 times. Okay, so now for the month of September, luckily for us, they've already calculated it as 61,332 rands. Okay, meaning that we're only supposed to calculate for October and also November. All right, now moving right along. So on the month of October, we're supposed to calculate 50% of the credit sales of the month of September. Okay, so we're going to take the credit sales from the month of September as 161,400 rands, and we're just going to multiply that by 50%. All right, so we're gonna come here and say that amount multiplied by 50%, just like that. And we're gonna use our calculators, use your Casio calculator or whichever calculator you have. 161,400 rands multiplied by 50%, and that will amount to 80,700 rands. 80,700 rands will be the collection for the month of October. Okay, so we're gonna come right here where it's September and October and say 80,000 rands 700. All right, so that will be the collection for the month of October. Now for the month of November, sorry. Oh, I forgot something. So after every month, remember what you do, you cancel them out. We were not calculating for September, we just calculated for October. Now we're doing our November. So we're gonna say 161,400 rands, and then we're gonna multiply it by 7%. Okay, so just like that, multiply by 7%, and you press that on your calculator, and you're gonna get it as 11,298 rands. So like that, we're gonna say 11,298 rands. So remember what we do, we take that amount and we're going to plug it in to our November collection. Okay, so we're going to come to November and say 11,298 rands, just like that. Okay, then now we're going to do the month of October. Okay, so feel free to pause the video, try it on your own. Alright, so this is what our stem and branch for October would look like. We'll have October as the first month of collection, November the second month, December as the third. So now remember what I said, you go on to compare with your answer sheet. Alright, so you come to your answer sheet right over here. You're gonna see here we're only preparing for September, October, and also for November. All right, so now in our branches we do have October, we do have November, but we do not have December in our answer sheet. So remember what we're going to do is we are going to cancel out the December part. Okay, so we're only going to be left with the collection for October and also November. All right, now what we're doing now, we're going to take the amount for the credit sales, we're going to multiply them by the 40% and also account for the 5% discount. How do we do that? So we do that by taking the credit sales of 163, 200, and we multiply them by how many percent? By 40%, just like that. But what happened to that 5%? So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna open our bracket and say, before opening our bracket, we're also going to multiply again by open bracket 100 minus the 5. Then we close the bracket and put a percentage like that. If this is confusing, you can always say 95%. Now this will amount to 62,016 rands. Okay, so this will be the collection for the month of October. This is the first collection we're going to make in the month of October. So we come over here and say 62,016 rands. Okay, so now going back again, what we do, we take the credit sale, we multiply it by the 40%, and then we then again multiply it by 100 minus the percent, the discount percentage. Okay, so we're going to say 100 minus 5 and then put a percentage outside that bracket, which will just be 95. So feel free to just put your 95% over here. So you can always do this, you won't be penalized. So you can just take the 95% instead of the 100 minus 5, makes no difference. Potato, you know. Now that we're done with the month of October, remember what we do, we cancel it out. So now we cancel the month of October like that. And then now we're going to go on to the next month, being the month of November. So in the month of November, it's pretty simple. It's what we've been doing all along. We say 163, 200 rands. Okay, let me just fix that. Okay, so 162, 300 rands. We multiply it by what? We multiply it by 50%. Okay, and that will amount to 81,600 rands. Okay, feel free to check this on your calculator. Correct me if I'm wrong. I stand to be corrected if I'm wrong, as always. Now that we got the 81,600 rands, we take the 81,600 rands, input it on the month of November. So in the month of November, we're going to collect 81,600 rands from the credit sales made in October. Okay, now we're moving on to the month of November. So the stem and branch for November will look like this. We'll have the stem as November, we have the branches as November, December, and also the month of January. All right, so now that we've done this, remember the next step is to compare with our answer sheet. Okay, so now on our answer sheet we only have September, October, and November, but now on our stem and branch, the month that is applicable is only the month of November, meaning that what we're going to do next is cancel out the month of December, as we're not preparing that, and also the month of January. We are not preparing the collection for those 2 months. Okay, so remember what I said about this calculation where there is a less discount. We're going to take the credit sale of 168,000. we're gonna take that and input it here and say 168,000 thousands, and then we're gonna just multiply that by 40%. We're going to take 40% and again multiply it by what? By 100 subtract 5%. All right, and that will amount to 63,840. So it will amount to 63,840 rands. Okay, as I've said before, feel free to input your 95 over there. Feel free to just say 68,000. Sorry, feel free to say 68,000 multiplied by 40% multiplied by 95%. Remember, whatever works best for you is what you're supposed to be doing. Okay, so now we're taking that 63,840 and input it in our collection month of November. So we're gonna have 63,840 right over there, and by so doing we are done, but not just yet. So now the last thing you do is you total the columns. Yeah, you're going to total the collection columns for September, for October, and for November. And another person might say that, Prime, what about the empty boxes? So the empty boxes, feel free to just put dashes over there or just leave them as they are. You won't get penalized for either because you were not preparing the months for these boxes. So you can just do that. It's still okay if you leave them, or if you put 0, it's still fine. It's one of those things, you do what works for you. Now we're going to add all of these and all of that to get the collection from debtors for the months of October and also of November. Okay, let me just press my calculator and I'll input the answers just now. And our totals for October will be 153,384 rands. Okay, and for November we'll have 156,738. And that's how you prepare your data schedule. Yeah, we took longer, but once you get the hang of it, you should be able to do this in under 10 or at least 7 minutes. All right, so without further ado, that's all I'm offering for today. Please like, subscribe to our channel for more videos like this.